And it's basically exploiting people who are vulnerable. The key to this is vulnerability, and anyone can be vulnerable. Anybody in this room can be vulnerable and fall into this very easily. People are doing this against their will for monetary profit, allowing victims little or no pay. It works as a market-based system. It exists on the principles of supply and demand, and the buying and selling of people is a big business. It's $36 billion worldwide and $10 billion nationally. And a young girl can earn as much as $720,000 per year for a pimp, tax-free. So that's even more. You can sell drugs one time, gun one time, but you can sell a human being over and over and over. So it's very lucrative, and basically because our laws are lax, it's a very low risk for a trafficker or a pimp to operate this kind of crime, and a very low risk for the demand or the buyers of this crime. The legislative history: 8 years ago, I found human trafficking was happening in my own district. I was a senator at the time. I was shocked, along with all of our community, that the FBI did a task of, let me see, let me go back. I haven't had enough coffee. Okay. The FBI did a sting in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And we found a number of victims in Toledo. A number of victims in Toledo. Yeah. 151 victims, 45 were children, and 78 of the 151 were from Toledo, one as young as 10 years old. 17 of the 18 pimps were from Toledo. And every time the FBI did a sting around the United States, they found victims from Toledo. And they kept saying, just like you, why Toledo? We were also identified as a major hub, a significant origin city for child sex traffickers, meaning pimps find victims in Toledo. I consider them my babies. I'm an early childhood kindergarten teacher. I planned on retiring 30 years as a kindergarten teacher. That's not what happened. But I took great offense to this happening to the children in Toledo and being used as sex slaves. So we started really looking at what was happening in Ohio. Greg Listini was my staff at the time. And I said, look in the Ohio Revised Code and see if there's anything that we can get these guys on. He came back and said there's no law, no language against slavery in Ohio. In fact, there was no law or language in any state against slavery. So pimps were actually walking away from the halls of justice. And the girls were always getting picked up and told, it was going to be their fault. They were the ones who were prosecuted. We have an extensive highway system. Number of truck stops met more than any other state. Close proximity to Canada, as well as East Coast, large immigrant community. More colleges and universities than any other state. So you can see that this is an origin state.